Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We hope everyone is having a wonderful day.
I am.
I'm glad. It's Friday and it's the end of the day, and that is just a joyous thing all in and of itself. I'm Sarah.
I'm Sheridan.
And we are from Magpie Beauty USA, and we are coming on to share with you pigments. So pigments are really taking off in the industry. Magpie USA offers tons of pigments. This isn't even all of them. These are just the ones that we are working with on today's live. So you can check all of the pigments out at magpiebeautyusa.com or on the Magpie Beauty USA app. If you do not have the Magpie Beauty USA app, I would encourage you to get it. It offers just easier shopping, easier navigation, quicker checkout, all of those things. You can just go to your App Store or the Google Play Store and download Magpie Beauty USA. And it actually talks to the website, so you can use the same login on both, and that way you can see previous orders, future orders, all of them linked together, which is so nice.
It's so great.
So awesome. So today we're going to be doing two different types of pigment art. I'm going to be doing one, and then Sheridan is going to be doing one as well. We're going to just walk you through the techniques of using dry pigments. They are very fun. You can do so many things with them. Today we're going to be using them dry, but you can also mix pigments with gel to create your own gel colors, which is fun to do. So today we're going to be using them on a velvet top coat, so our matte top coat, but I do want to tell you that there are different ways to use pigments in that you can put them directly onto the tacky layer. You can create aura, you can create just patches of color and then pull a gel over top of it so that you can then put nail art on top of that, so it can be a background design. You can put it onto a dry matte cure, which is what we're going to be showing you how to work with today. So really have a play. There's no right or wrong, and the color options are vast in our pigment lineup, so you can really just create all different kinds of outcomes, and it can be really fun. Another thing that you can do excuse me, is if you put on a matte top coat and then you were to make your art with, say, Plain Jane, which is our white from Magpie, and you created art with that, then because I guess no, you wouldn't want to do that. Let me start over because I don't want to confuse you. What you would do is put a layer of Give Me Strength over top of this, take off the inhibition layer, really scrub it. You could even go through and give a buff so that you know there's no sticky and no shiny. Mm-hmm. And then you would put on a design using a sticky layer. So that would be with like Plain Jane, which is our white. Then you would be able to tap all of the pigment onto the white and dust off any excess. And that way it only sticks to the actual art part. Fun. And then you can top coat over that.
Yeah.
And so that's very fun. Don't use the velvet top in what I just walked you through. Yeah. Because it's velvet top, it will stick to velvet top. Yes. So you don't want to do that. Anyway, I'm giving you a lot of information and basically just encouraging you to play with the pigments because you can next.
Oh, I can't wait to watch
and I'm going to be creating some St. Patrick's Day art. So I just have two very thin layers of Magpie Forget Me Not, which is just a beautiful nude. And it doesn't really matter what color is in the background here. I was just laying down something so that in case there were any sheer parts of my pigment, so that it wouldn't be just naked nail and you wouldn't be able to see through. I am going to be using our velvet matte top coat. So using our cleanser, I'm going to take off the inhibition layer. We don't want the sticky layer of your gel to mix with our top coat because what will happen is eventually that sticky layer will be at the bottom. So when you get to the bottom of your velvet top, all of a sudden you're gonna have streaking and not sure why you have shiny streaks inside of your matte top coat. And that would be why, is because you've mixed the sticky layer with your matte top coat. So be sure to wipe that off and then go in with just a thin layer of velvet top and give that a full 60-second cure in the Magpie lamp. Will you cure that for me, please?
I will.
Thank you.
I love
Now,
velvet top too.
yes, it's a great no wipe top coat. This one you do not have to wipe off. So as soon as it comes out of the lamp, we're going to go straight in with our pigments. Now I am going to be working in a rainbow pattern, and this is our teal detailer, which I feel like is just a really lovely dry pigment brush. I can get in precisely because it does have more of a pointed tip, and then it easily wipes out just on a towel. Okay. Move all the rest of those supplies that I need. Okay.
Nail Vibes Only says, I found that my velvet top is streaking when I apply it. This is a brand new bottle, and I did cleanse the inhibition layer. What am I doing wrong?
Okay. Then I would suggest, have you stirred your velvet top? Have you gone in, and by stir I mean go in with like a metal spatula, something that isn't porous. So you don't want to use orange wood stick here. You want something that just is going to stir everything back together and get that matte to go back through all of the clear gel. So I would suggest starting there, giving it a really vigorous stir. And if you have issues beyond that, just contact us at magpiebeautyusa@gmail.com, and we will be happy to take care of that for you and get you a fresh bottle. Okay, so I'm going to be, like I said, working in a rainbow pattern. So I'm going to first go in with our red. And I don't remember all of these names, but maybe Sheridan can help me. I know that the red is called Chili.
Sure is.
And you can use, I mean, we could go vertical here. We could go horizontal here. We could go on a diagonal. I think this one, I'm going to go kind of like just in an abstract-y kind of motion. Not really rainbowish, but I'm going to be using rainbow colors. And then make sure that you're wiping out in between each color, because the pigment will go on to the next one. So there's our red. Next is our orange. This one is Hawaii. I knew that one.
I think Hawaii's so cute. Like every time I pull it at the warehouse, I'm like, oh, you're just
Such
cute.
a fun
It's just
color.
fun and bright and happy.
Now I do want to blend Hawaii before I use this paler yellow, because this is pretty vibrant and this one is more muted. So I'm just going to go in with a little bit of this color.
That one's Zanzibar.
Zanzibar. And just kind of mute out the bottom so that my yellow can blend really nicely. This yellow is Zanti, maybe?
It's either Zanti or Tahiti.
Or Tahiti.
They blend so nicely too.
They really do.
And easily too.
And if you feel like you lost maybe a little bit of orange, don't worry. Go back in, blend it back. Blend, blend, blend. Next up we have Thailand is our darker green. This is the brighter green. There's also the winter collection, and that has like deep greens. But I didn't want a deep green here because we're kind of working with springtime colors. And then our blue, I don't know this color. Maybe
Seychelles?
Seychelles?
Seychelles? Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Seychelles?
Yep. And then this purple is part of our neon collection and is
Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka. And then last you can choose. Do you want to end on a pink? Do you want to end on a lighter purple? I think I'm going to end on a pink and blend that in just at the bottom.
Fun.
So you can see we easily created an ombre effect of a rainbow. And if there was, like I said earlier, these blend so easily. So if there was like, I need more yellow because I feel like that kind of got taken away, then put more yellow in. Maybe the green faded away a little. So put a little more green. And I'm just using very light tapping motions. Like I am not rubbing. I'm not being wild and crazy here.
And a little bit of the pigment goes a long way too.
So true. And I needed just a little bit more blue. I feel like that kind of faded away. And in the end, I don't think I'm going to have pink, so I'm going to just add a little bit more purple and maybe fade that down to the end. There we go. Now, our next step would be to take our soft duster brush. This is just our soft chrome duster. And we want to take off any excess pigment, okay? And when you do that, be so gentle. Everything here is movable, right? Because we're on a velvet top coat. We're not on a sticky top coat. So like a little bit of my green faded away. A little bit of my yellow. So I'm gonna just put that back on just ever so little and then kind of brush away any excess so that I don't have to use those harsher bristles. I just pushed a little too hard. Really, you're just trying to remove the dust. If we could, if this was a human, you couldn't do this, but like a little blow is all it takes, right? We're just trying to get off any excess, but you can't do that on a human. So you have to find another way to remove the excess dust. So that takes care of our pigments. You can see how easily they blended. Now, here's the trick to the next part. We have to pull a gel over top of this without blending all of those or pulling the pigment. Because it is not on a sticky layer, it's just on a dry layer. We have to be very careful. So what I'm choosing to use is our Get a Grip, which I have just poured into a pot. Here you could use Give Me Strength, you could use Like a Diamond, but you do need to have a gel that has a sticky layer when it cures, because I'm going to be still working, so I don't want to use a no wipe top coat because I want to do another step to this. So I am just going to pick up a generous amount of gel based on the size of the nail, and I want to drag the gel, not the pigment. So I need to have plenty of gel that I can kind of move this down and you do not want to brush pigment, okay? So we need to, it's kind of like an encapsulation, except we're trying to keep the Get a Grip layer or the Give Me Strength, whatever you choose to use, very thin, because we don't need, right now, if we were working on a nail, we already have our structure. So we don't need to add bulk. We are just trying to walk this gel down without disturbing the pigment. So now that I've done that, I can go through and kind of with a flat bristle, just kind of smooth everything out and hopefully collect any excess gel that we don't need on there, okay? So then you can turn your client's hand over, let the gel settle, do what it needs to do, and then in we go for a full, actually really quickly, on swatch sticks, there's often like a little hump. So I'm just going to move that back because it's good practice to always have a good line of light even when we're practicing. So do the very best that you can, and once you're happy with it, go in for a full 60-second cure.
That's cute.
Cute.
And so easy too.
So easy, yep. So easy to create. Then I'm going to go in with our gold Arty gel, and I'm just going to create the word luck. How many of you do you write letters on your clients' nails? Words?
No.
No?
No.
Does that intimidate you?
I would, it would depend on the nail.
Okay.
I think the smallness
Mm-hmm.
and how long it would take me makes me nervous.
I see.
Yeah. But when you did it, I was like, oh, you did that so quick.
Yeah, no, it's not difficult, but it is breaking it down into sections, right? And I'm going to teach you how to do that in just a moment.
You're going to do great. I love that gold.
Yes, it's such
like
a pretty tone.
Shimmery, yeah, pretty.
It's not a champagne gold. We had a question come in from a customer about that. It's not a champagne gold. It definitely is a light gold. Mm-hmm. Very, very pretty. Yep. And you can just give it a stir, which I stirred it right before we went live. But make sure that you stir it so that pigment stays suspended inside of your gel. All right, so we're just going to write the word luck. So starting with our L, now wherever you're going to kind of like imagine the nail in 4 parts. And we want the word L-U-C-K to fit inside of our 4 parts. So my L ends right before the middle, and then my K can can start right underneath of it. And that's just going to help you keep kind of in a frame.
Well, that's the trick of the trade right there.
Yep. And then you can just practice your lettering, you know, if you wanted skinny, thick, whatever font you're going after, then that's up to you to practice. But as far as like sectioning out, if we're working with 4 letters, just kind of imagine a grid.
That's a great way to think of it. I also think like the cursive-y, like we just got off the love,
Mm-hmm.
and that little tiny swoopy font. It's definitely harder than a cute block letter like you're doing.
Very true. So there we have the L, the C, and the K. And with that rainbow in the background, that was so
Yeah, it's cute.
cute.
It's so cute.
And as always, perfect your letters before you give it a full cure. Now, one thing you do want to pay attention to that I didn't pay attention to here is that my K is too tall. So see how my C is below my K? That is not ideal. So when you're practicing, make sure that your letters are fitting inside of your block. Because now what I have to do is kind of like lengthen my K so that it matches the bottom of my C. And your client is never going to say, my K is taller than my C. That's not appropriate. But this is just for you learning and as you practice letters and things like that. So will you give that a flash cure? A flash cure is just setting that gel in place. You want a flash cure for about 5 to 10 seconds. That way when I go in to do the U, which in this case is going to be a 4-leaf clover, if my client were to move, I'd have to start all over. So once you have the easy letters done, then give that a flash cure. And then we can go in and finish with our 4-leaf clover. 4-leaf clover is just hearts, right? So a 3-leaf clover, you're going to start your heart in an upward motion. A 4-leaf clover is, again, a grid. And we want every heart, let me move my hand down. We want every heart to meet in the middle, but there's going to be a heart here, 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 and here, okay?
Yep.
And it's just going to be little, and don't overthink it. So instead of starting in a straight, we're going to start in a sideways, but it's just kind of like a V heart. Boop, there's one.
Cute.
And then number 2. And these are going to be like right next to each other. Okay, not super spacey. And don't overthink it. We're not making perfect hearts, okay? So there's number 2. And then 3 is going to kind of, if we go straight like this, we're not going to meet a middle. So we need to kind of come in at an angle like this. Here's 3. Okay. And then number 4, if I had a client, then I would turn my brush this way. So we'll pretend that I do. And this one, I'm going to remember that my stem is going to come out from this middle. So I need room for my stem. And then here is number 4, like that. Okay, 4-leaf clover, just like that. Very simple, very easy. And then from this center, we are going to drag out a stem. Now here, if you're like, I can't see any clovers, now you can pull out and create bigger hearts that are not so connected, okay? So practice easy, and then you can make them as elaborate as you want. You could go through, because I didn't want these to actually touch, so except in the middle. So maybe I will drag in some gel so that I have some definition. But I'm on a sticky layer and it wants to move. There we go. So you get the idea. So practice. It's just 4 hearts connected. Super cute. Will you give that a cure?
Sure will.
Thank you. Now the last thing on here, because this is not on a human, I'm going to just give it a 30-second cure, but RD gels are a full 60-second cure. So after 30 seconds, we're gonna just go in with our gold Top It Off. This would be our no wipe top coat. It does have a golden and orangish shimmer, which I think just kind of ties in what this design is, which is St. Patrick's Day.
I love the shimmery top
Very, very
coats.
cute. Yep. So now we'll go in just with a finishing top coat of Top It Off Clear, or Top It Off Gold Glitz.
That is super cute with that top coat. It like
There we
pulls
go.
it all together. Look
All
how
together.
cute.
So fun. All right, we'll give that a full cure. So
Cute.
pigments are not as scary as they seem. You just have to understand how to manipulate them, especially once they're on the velvet top, and then know how to pull over a gel over top. And then you're gonna have a really great time playing with your pigments. Thank you. All right, Sheridan.
All right, I'm gonna do a little aura nail, and I've already prepped my nail. So I did 2 coats of Meadow Mama, and this is just a really cute kind of minty green color. So I did 2 coats of that, and then I did a coat of Velvet Top, and I'm gonna go in with, not that, with
The
Can I have
neon
the other
pigments.
ones too.
Oh,
I'm going
absolutely.
to mix 2 greens.
Fantastic.
Because I kind of like the tone of Thailand, but I want it to be a little bit darker or brighter. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of Thailand and a little bit of Mexico, which is the neon. And I'm just going to put it right in the middle. And I'm just going to start pressing in the pigment into that velvet top.
Now, how do you decide what ratio of color to choose when you're mixing like green and green? How do you choose? You're just
go
going for the
it.
tone that
I just
you like?
go for it, yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to add to it as I go. So if it's a little bit too neon, which it's a little bit too neon right now for me, I'm going to add more of that darker. And I'm just bouncing this in. I'm not like swiping it. I'm just pouncing it in.
Now, I noticed that you're using an applicator, not a tilt detailer. Is that
Yes.
just preference?
Yes, so I wanted to use the applicator because I'm going right in the center of the nail, and I want more of that like
Blown out.
blown out look. If I was just doing a little circle, I'd go in with the tilt detailer.
Gotcha.
So
So
no,
more precise, you would do tilt detailer.
Yep.
Less precise.
I would
applicator.
do an applicator.
Do you keep a separate applicator for pigment?
Oh yes, and if I had the choice of things in life, I would have one for a black and the
Yeah,
darker
absolutely.
colors like the winter collection. They're all darker tones, so it would work. And then I'd have one that's white just for baby,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'd have one for all the colors.
So smart.
Yeah. So as I've kind of gotten through all of the pigment here, I'm just cleaning out and making sure that there's no pigment on the sides, so that when I go in with my whatever gel to top it off, I won't have any pigment in that gel.
Mm-hmm. Because you don't want
Yeah.
loose pigment.
No, because
Heck no.
it'll contaminate your gel, first of all, but also it will make your design streaky. And now I added too much of the dark one, and it was fine. And this is how you learn. You just play with it.
But the nice thing about pigments is you keep blending and it works out, huh?
Yep, you just blend and blend. I always think of, what's that movie?
I
You
can
don't
hear
know
it. I can hear what you're
It's,
saying, but I don't know movie quotes very well.
Edward Scissorhands, and we'll blend and Okay, so once you get to that point, I'm just gonna do a little bit of get a grip on this, and I'm gonna just do a little floating layer here. So like Sarah said, you don't want to go in and just do like a straight
A painting layer.
A painting
No.
layer. Yeah, it's more of like a floating layer. I kind of like the two tones in there.
I do
It's kind
too.
of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So those aura nails that you see around town.
I mean, that's what that is, right? Just a green aura,
just
basically.
Just an aura in the middle, and you can do basically any color combination, and it's super easy with pigments.
Mm-hmm. I've seen aura nails that have like stars and whatever. You could do gold stars here. You could really have a play with that.
Yeah. Okay, and then you can just let it kind of self-level and do its thing here. I can't actually see what I'm doing up there, so here we are. And when you're doing, so when you flip your client over and you're using your detailer to kind of smooth things out, you want to have your light pressure too, because if you take your detailer and go aggressive in the middle, you're going to ruin that pigment.
You're going to streak that pigment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the goal is to have it just very seamless, so. Okay, I'm going to give that a cure really quick. And while that's curing, I'm going to get out my black arty gel. And I'm going to do a little shamrock on it. And what I'm going to do is take off the inhibition layer, because I want to do a little bit of an isolated chrome on my shamrock.
So when you say isolated chrome,
so it will just be the shamrock that is chromed. So that's like a pinpointed design that's chrome.
Not all of it.
Yeah, just that part.
Do you double cleanse before you do isolated chrome?
Yeah, I like to use acetone and take off all of the tacky layer, so that it's, and like really scrub it, because anything tacky, your chrome will stick to. Okay, and then I will grab a fresh. I go through no wipes, little these, like it probably is bad for the earth. So I'm just double cleansing. And then I'm going to take a little bit of this black arty gel, and I use my thumbnail as a palette if I don't have a palette out. And then I'm going to put this to the side because I'll stick my hand in that. And I'm just going to do that same type of little tiny shamrock. Only I'm going to just do 3. And I'm going to make mine like a heart, but kind of a... What's the word that I'm looking for?
Fat heart.
A fat heart.
A fat heart?
A lumpy heart, not a... I don't know how to explain how to do art.
Well, it's just not like a defined heart.
It's not a defined heart, yep. So it's just kind of like a triangle with a swoopy bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to do 3. Oh.
When your fulcrum finger fails. Does that ever happen to you?
Oh.
When your fulcrum finger fails, and then that's that.
Do nail art on lives. It'll teach you how to do your art.
Kayla says it's chubby heart. Yeah, like a chubby
Not chubby heart.
Not so perfect.
Yeah, not a defined heart. So the nice thing with the arty gels is it cures with no inhibition layer, no tacky layer, so you can actually just chrome right over this.
Cute. Now it does need a full 60-second cure
Sure does.
to be able to chrome over it. So I'm going to reset that lamp.
Okay.
And what chrome are you going to choose?
I'm going to choose Elizabeth, and nobody judge this palette.
Loved.
This is well.
Maybe.
They're all well loved. But
Loved.
This is what it kind of looks like. But I'm going to take my little silicone tool and just grab just the tiniest little bit You don't need very much because it's a very small little area. But I like to use the compacts for a isolated chrome, because if you like dip into the Elizabeth bottle and it's like, oh, now I have enough to do 10 nails.
Right.
So this helps you like be a little bit more precise with what you have.
Mm-hmm. Another one that would be really nice, we don't have it here, but what's the green one? Is it Twyla? That would also be
that
fun.
would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to do. You could do that over your
chrome.
Yeah, you could do it over the Arta nail too.
Oh, yep.
So I'm just gonna take like the very corner of this and just kind of dab her on. It's like the littlest pressure, the littlest movements, because I don't want to touch the nail as much as possible, because that will, even though you've done your work, sometimes it's something. It's not foolproof that you took off the...
So be just a little more
layer.
precise.
Yep, just a little bit more precise. And this is very tiny, so I won't even use all of this.
How cute is that gold on that?
Yeah, that's cute.
I love it.
Fun! And then that's that. So then you can just wipe off your little silicone tool and take off all of the extra little pieces and rub that in really good.
I love that.
Cute! So that's that.
Very, very cute.
And then I would probably use the gold Top It Off on it too. And it will just add a little bit of that.
Tie everything together.
Tie everything together.
On this one, I mean, the aura is so nice. Like regular Top It Off would be nice. But yes, since it is, a golden green kind of holiday, using the gold is also lovely. But I feel like the clear would do just as nicely,
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
So that's just a fun little
So fun.
design. I like this too because have you ever had like I guess pigments don't do it as much as chrome. Like you don't have to do
the filing of the free edge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Usually you don't have to do that, but
Right.
I like the aura because it's all in the middle. You don't have to worry about anything chipping.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I love that. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. We've gone over all of the things pigments. You can check out magpiebeautyusa.com or the Magpie Beauty USA app to see all the full range of pigments that are available. And then really just go in and have a play. Try it on a sticky layer, try it on a velvet layer, try it on a just take off the inhibition layer and just try patting it onto what's left of the tacky layer of your gel. There's just so many different ways to do it. And then of course, try your isolated chrome, work on your letterings, all of those things. So thank you so much for joining us today. As always, if you ever have any questions, please let us know. We're happy to help in any way. And until next time, have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.